Welcome back, viewers at home. You're still tuned in right here on INX Prime channel 345. Now we're about to delve into a very important and quite interesting conversation where we saw that the Kenyan government on Tuesday announced the removal of proposed taxes on bread purchases, car ownership, as well as financial and mobile services after protests by young Kenyans call for the scrapping of a continuous finance bill. Now, the protests have been led by Kenya's Generation Z, or what we also term to say Gen Z, many of whom have been arrested and faced a violent response by the Kenyan police. But for more on the situation, I am joined by Njeri, who is joining us from Nairobi. Njeri, good evening and welcome to INX Prime.
Thank you.
Now, thank you so much for, tuning in and just giving us your time so we can understand what exactly is happening in Kenya right now. Many people have been they praised the sheer bravery of the protesters and the fact that peaceful and also effective. What are the demands of Kenya's young people regarding these tax hikes?
I think the demands are quite clear, that they scrap off the finance bill that they have proposed. And this finance bill, of course, as they have proposed it, Kenyans are experiencing so much tax burden as per now as we speak. And the finance bill that they're trying to impose on Kenyans is for sure putting more burden onto the Kenyan people, because there's so much money that they want to tax out of the Kenyan citizen pocket that is not necessary. We are seeing in the finance bill that the Ruto and his Kenya Kwanza regime have budgeted for 800 million for confidential. Sorry, I'm being joined by my comrade, my son here. So we are seeing Kenya Kwanza regime budgeting for 800 million of money that they can't explain it's for what. And this is money for the president. They are also budgeting 600,000 million to renovate the deputy president's house. This is money that we don't need out of Kenyan citizens. And they are making this very hard for Kenyans because they are taxing bread, they are taxing diapers, they are taxing pads. And we know in this country, we have for the longest time had women fighting for just sanitary pads. So making it so difficult for women even to access sanitary pads in this generation.
Now, the Kenyan police also, we're seeing them also through the visuals, have responded in a heavy-handed manner with the likes of tear gas and hundreds of arrests. And yet the youth is still standing firm and protesting against what they believe is unjust. Can you expand on that a bit?
For sure. The Kenya police, because they are also just the government puppets, and for the longest time, they have been the worst treated by the government, have been using excessive force on peaceful protesters. Personally, I was arrested by the regime and they were trying to harass me in the cells. But I think the young people the young people are keen on what they want. Their demand is, even if you come with tear gas, we are not going to fight back. Because what we want is bigger than just fighting the police. What we are fighting for is the future of this country. As a young person in this country, and as a person who has a son in this country, I'm fighting for myself and also for my son. So it's for us and the future generation of this country. We have seen this country going to the dogs, and we won't watch it going to the dogs anymore. So the Kenyan generation has decided that we will go to the street until this nonsense go to the stop.
Now, on Thursday, Kenya's parliament passed a second reading of the finance bill, with a final reading expected next week. Why have lawmakers ignored the sentiment of the country and seem to be going ahead with the bill?
For sure, so many of our leaders, like their leaders, like the president, are puppets. If the IMF says this is the way that we are going, the president will be like, yes, hell yes. So, and he has conditioned that in our parliamentary, and he has sold so much fear, bought so many of our representatives, because Most of them have been promised money, and also some of them have been told they won't, if they support the bill, if they won't support the bill, they won't be supported. Some of them have even been threatened that their CDF money won't be given to them. So our parliament is full of cowards who cannot stand for themselves and who cannot stand for the country. We had an MP even going ahead and saying the protests in the city are graphics design, they're fake protests. In this generation, of course, we know we are more advanced in IT, but everyone in the world can see those are organic protests, and they are everywhere in the country. So you can say that we are faking protests everywhere in the country. The protest cannot be alluded to one person because it's a mass movement of young people between 18 and 25 and 18 and 30 coming out. So you can say it's civil society mobilizing these people. It's people who are hungry, and it's people who want to fight for their country.
Now, there's another thing that's actually we've been seeing on social media, which are some protesters are calling for the resignation of President Ruto. Currently, he is the most traveled president in Africa and is seemingly always out of the country. Why has his approval ratings plummeted since he took power 2 years ago?
Sorry?
I'm just asking to you, why has his, we know that your president, Mr. William Ruto, has been traveling out of the country most frequently than ever. And why has his approval ratings plummeted since he took power 2 years ago?
You know, when Ruto got to power, of course, he used the working class people, the common people, to go to curb. And he had so many promises lined up for the common people, the people who voted for him, and they voted for him immensely. But completely none of the promises that he made in 2 years he has actualized. In fact, he has made life very unbearable for the common Mwananchi in this country. So many people are devastated, so many people are dying, so many people are committing suicide. Right now, most people in this country are homeless because of this regime, and these are people who voted him into power. We have seen devastating things, like even floods that were warned by the meteorological department taking part. And this person hasn't been answerable to the Kenyan citizen who voted him in. In fact, he has been very much answerable to the IMF than the people who chose him to power.
That is quite unfortunate. Now, to our understanding, Njeri, is that the government even wants to levy taxes on wigs, hair pieces, and even nail technicians. What will be the impact of this finance bill on ordinary Kenyans?
For sure, this will be a heavy burden on the ordinary Kenyan in this country. It means if you are not able to afford a meal, maybe 2 meals a day, now you will be able maybe to just afford one or none, because life will be very heavy, because there are no jobs in this country. So people have opted to the beauty industry and such. And this is where he's massively going with taxes. So the Kenyan people who right now are having a hard time putting food on the table, most of the people will be rendered homeless. Also, there is a tax on land. And we know for the longest time, the struggle of this country has been on land. So also there is the issue of land, even on the street, apart from occupying parliament. We saw young people coming and saying we will occupy government land and we will occupy the State House, and we are not relenting. So the burden, of course, will be so much to the young people. And remember, the president should remember, these are people who have nothing to lose but their fear. So if they say they'll occupy the State House, we will go and occupy the State House. If we are saying we will occupy parliament and government land, we will start with his land and the rest of the land that the president of Kenya has grabbed.
Now, let's try and understand, in terms of coming from you as a Kenyan citizen, that if the bill is passed and adopted by the end of June, can we expect the protest to spread to other Kenyan cities?
Pardon?
If the bill is passed and adopted by the end of June, can we expect the protest to spread to other Kenyan cities?
Already the protests have spread. Yesterday, almost most 7 cities in the countries were protesting against the bill. Even where he comes from, where his stronghold, where he comes from, there was a massive protest in Eldoret. And from Tuesday next week, there will be more people coming into the streets all over the country because people are tired. In the protest, people are saying the donkey is tired. And we will see more young people. We are happy that even now the parents are joining in the fight because we have seen the government is ruthless with dealing with young people. Yesterday, we lost even one of us who was in the protest. And remember, it's a peaceful protest. The Ruto thugs, police shot one of the comrades on the street. His name is Rex. May his soul rest in peace.
Condolences to him and his family, as well as, the union which he's a part of. Just in closing, is there anything you would like to share with our viewers at home?
I think right now the Kenyan mass, more so the Generation Z, has shown the path of how we will deal with, of course, capitalism, which has been undermining us for the longest time. And I think this is the time to show solidarity. And for the Kenyan government, the young people in this country are not relenting. Your threats, you kidnapping people won't stop the young people to come on the streets. We will continue to march because we are marching for our lives and our future. We will continue to be in the streets until we get what we deserve. Because we know the power belongs to the people and we are the people who voted you in and we can recall you. And we are starting now. So watch out.
Jerry, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
You're welcome. Asante sana.
Viewers at home, that was Jerry sharing in information on what exactly is happening currently in Kenya, where the youth took to the streets to protest against the finance bill that is being carried out by its government. And also she just gave insight in terms of how they stand and how they feel about the bill in question and some of the heavy implications it will have on ordinary citizens who are currently battling to, strive, or rather providing themselves 2 meals a day. And with the finance bill being carried out, it will bring those chances to either 1 meal a day or none. That's where we close it off for now. Let's head over to an ad break. See you when we come back.